Hello everybody, I hope you're all enjoying your Memorial Day weekend, and I've decided to bring you something a little different today. Think of this as like a spin-off of my Forgotten Beauties videos. Much like the Forgotten Beauties videos, these are not going to be in any particular order. I'm not saying that these are the most evil characters of all time or anything. It's just a random list of evil bastards. The only real criteria that I put on it is one, it's going to be some characters that I think y'all probably wouldn't think of all that much when thinking of the most evil bastards. And two, they have to be really fucking evil. Sorry, but we don't play that sympathetic villain bullshit on this list. These motherfuckers are irredeemable monsters, just the way we like them here at Rouga's channel. So just give you a bit of a fair warning. If I ask you who the most evil character in all of fiction is and you say something like Thanos or Darth Vader, oh, you sweet, sweet, innocent baby, you may want to turn the video off because this is going to come as a bit of a culture shock to you. Anyway, that's enough of an intro. If you liked the video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all that good shit, and I'll bring you a part 2. Oh, and don't you forget that we have a membership available. Not only will acquiring said membership allow you to have early access to all of my videos, but will also just help support the channel and allow me to not have to take quite so much overtime and can spend my time making more videos more often. Let's get started. So up first is Baron Harkonnen, or Baron Harkonnen, because apparently according to the new Dune movie, I've been pronouncing this shit wrong for 20 fucking years. Novel version, not movie. It's pretty fucking crazy they adapted the Dune books into a PG-13 movie, because this shit is not PG-13. And Baron Harkonnen is like 95% of the reason why that is. He is an absolute fucking monster in the books in a way that the movies don't even touch. The idea of his character in the books is that he's just a black hole of consumption. He is greed, gluttony, indulgence, and hedonism pushed to its most extreme. Not only is he a mass murderer who has attempted genocide on multiple occasions in his life, but he has taken so much from his own planet and his own solar system that the sun is actually dying from all of the resources he has taken from it. His planet is pretty much unlivable by anyone who wasn't born on the planet. If you live on the Harkonnen homeworld and your last name is not Harkonnen, you have nothing. You are essentially a tool to be used by the Baron however he sees fit. There is zero goodness in this man's soul. And as far as he is concerned, the entire universe that exists around him is only there solely to serve him and the things that he wants. And if that's not enough to put him on this list, he is a, how do I say this? A mass rapist who has a fondness for underage boys. Yep. Next up, we have Walter Cullowski, also known as Cull from Top Cow Comics. Now, if you consider yourself an avid comic reader but have only really read Marvel and DC comics, this is gonna be a little odd for you. See, Marvel and DC have a lot of rules about what you're allowed to have their villains do and not do. For instance, in Marvel and DC, they're not really allowed to hurt children. Also, for the most part, sexual assault and rape are not allowed in those kind of comics. They do have some stories where it occasionally happens, but if you leave the Marvel and DC universes and start reading other comics, you start to realize shit gets pretty fucking dark. So Cull is a member of a species called a necrobus, which automatically would put him pretty high up in terms of level of evil. A necrobus is essentially a very evil version of a succubus who acquires life force and power from acts of sexual violence. Yeah. And Cull is not only the last of his species, but is also the oldest and most powerful of his species who has ever lived, which means he has committed the most acts of sexual violence of anyone in all of existence. At one point in the comics, the Darkness and Witchblade actually go into his underground lair and find out that he has a massive dungeon where he has enslaved hundreds upon hundreds of men and women who are chained up in all sorts of really messed up positions where they are forced to not only enact these terrible things upon each other, but he freely enacts it to them whenever he wants for power and life force. Cull is a hedonist and sadist who loves enacting horrible things on as many people as humanly possible for his own sick, twisted pleasure. His actions in the comics are so fucked up that I can only show you a couple pictures of him total, because every picture he's in has something fucked up going on. I mean, this is a character that makes Pinhead look like a good dude. Now, one big reason why you probably haven't heard of this character before, if you are an avid comic reader, is because he only appears in one arc in one story. He's introduced, he has his entire storyline, and then he is killed by the end, dead and he never appears again. But I have read a lot of Top Cow comics, and this is probably the most evil motherfucker that's in it, like total, throughout the whole universe. And if you've read any Top Cow comics, you know that that's really saying something. Up next, we got Patrick Bateman, the novel version, not the movie version yet again. Now, as evil, cruel, and fucked up as Patrick Bateman is in the movie American Psycho, he is considerably worse in the book. Like, it's not even close. The shit he does in this book is not allowed to go on television screens. There really ain't any other way to put this. This shit's just straight up smut. Like, I'm gonna tell you some of the stuff he does in the book, but just know this shit's probably gonna get demonetized just for me telling it to you. At one point, the man shoves a rat up a woman's hoo-ha and then sews it shut so that the rat can, like, rip its way out of her body. At another point in the book, he goes to an aquarium and slits a little boy's throat, like the boy's like 6 years old. And then when the parents are screaming across the aquarium for a doctor, Patrick poses as a doctor and then goes up and pretends to help the boy, with the boy sitting there looking at the man who slit his throat, not being able to tell his parents that that's the person who did it. And the whole time, Patrick's just staring at the parent's face. And in the book, he says he did this because he wanted to see true suffering on the parent's face as they watched their child die, not being able to do anything about it. Patrick, unlike any of the other characters on this list, it takes out all the fantastical stuff, like all the superpowers and sci-fi and all that sort of bullshit, and it just has an extremely evil, regular guy, just a serial killer that could live in our real world. And because of that, all of the incredibly sick shit he does throughout the story just hits so much harder than a lot of these other characters. Because a lot of the stuff that these other characters do aren't really possible, but with Patrick, it really is. And if you've seen the movie and you think that he should be disqualified because at the end of the movie, it's revealed that it was all in his head and none of it actually happened, that's actually not true. The books make it very clear that everything he did actually happen. And the director has come out and said many times that the implication at the end of the movie was not that Patrick didn't do all of those things, and his biggest regret with the movie was not making that clearer. So no, everything Patrick does in the movie and in the books is completely real. He's called American Psycho for a reason. Dude's fucked up. For the last evil bastard on the list, we're going to talk about Billy Kincaid from the Spawn comics. So Billy is a giant man-child who drives around an ice cream truck to lure in small children so that he can do really horrible things to them. And nobody can really do anything about it because every time he's caught in the act, his father, who is also a senator, pulls some strings to get him out of trouble. So what you have here is an untouchable child defiler and murderer. And look, I get it. This list is filled with a lot of, child fuckers. I didn't really realize that until after I was making the list, but it really makes sense. In my mind, if you start fucking with kids, you're gonna be at the top of a list of evil shit, you know what I mean? Like, look, I get it. Blowing up planets is evil, mass murdering is evil, but the intimate evil of one person walking up to a child and doing the horrible shit that a lot of characters on this list do just strikes me as so much more evil than pressing a button and nuking a city, you know what I mean? And not only is this stuff that Billy Kincaid does really evil, but one of the things that makes him a pretty annoying type of evil is the fact that every time Spawn kills him, the motherfucker comes back with some kind of supernatural powers. Billy Kincaid is really good at escaping hell, and every time he does, he has some crazy power. Like one time he was able to possess the body of other people, so he just kept jumping into normal people, continuing to do the things that he did when he was alive. And every time Spawn would show up and kill him, his soul would just jump into another body. Billy Kincaid was a nearly unstoppable serial child murderer when he was alive, like in terms of the law, but then when he died, he became even more unstoppable when they added this supernatural twist to him that made him literally unstoppable. Now, I do believe he is eventually put down for good. I think Spawn, like, just destroys his soul entirely. So he's done and gone, but it took him like 3 fucking tries. And that's gonna be it for today. I know this is a bit of a quicker video, but like I said, I'm very busy right now, so I'm trying to get you guys stuff that I can get you out quickly so y'all aren't waiting weeks and weeks for videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe. Don't forget, I also have a membership. You can join the membership. And always remember, y'all be safe out there, you hear?